Okay, the purpose of this video is to teach you the difference between major and minor thirds. So when you're very first starting out learning the piano, you learn that a third is an interval between two white keys with one key in the middle. We call it a skip. So C to E is a third. We skip D. D to F is a third. E to G is a third. Anytime we use the musical alphabet and we start on one letter and we skip a letter and we go to the next letter, that's a third. But as you get older, then you understand that the black notes then also can play into our intervals. We can use black notes as part of our intervals. And so C to E we said is a third, but so is C to E flat. That's also a third. All right, and D to F is a third, but so is D to F sharp. So we need to understand what the difference is then as we have sharps and flats in our intervals. And so then we come up with different possibilities. We have major thirds and we have minor thirds. And you probably already know major in music means bigger, and minor means smaller, or our major third is going to be a larger interval and our minor third is going to be a smaller interval. So let's look. Let's see if we can figure out the difference between C and E E flat. So C to E, we'll count half steps to figure out how far apart these intervals are. 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps makes a major third. And if I move this to E flat, then I only have 1, 2, 3 half steps. So a major third is 4 half steps, a minor third is 3 half steps. Let's go back to C and E. Major third. What if I have C sharp and E? Still a third, and now I've just created a minor third because now I can count 1, 2, 3 half steps. So as you can see, as we start to include our black notes in our intervals, we have to be able to distinguish between major thirds, minor thirds, and major and minor intervals in general. Okay, so let's try writing some intervals. I will just put out a set of random notes, and we will try writing some intervals. So if I need to write major intervals above these notes, I will always first start by simply writing the note that's a third above that pitch. Let's do all of these as major thirds. Capital M is major. So G to B, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that's major or minor. Let's count our half steps. Starting on G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just as it's written here, it's a major third, so I can leave that one. Let's look at E to G. Okay, very simple. It looks pretty much the same as G to B. I have 2 white notes with a white note in between. Let's count how many half steps between. Starting on E, 1, 2, 3. Notice it's a different half step structure. So this one is actually a minor third. If I need to make it a major third, and if they've given me E as my starting note, I will then change this, add a half step, and create my major third. Now here's the mistake some students make when they're writing intervals. If on your theory test you're given the note E, so you find your E, and you count up 4 half steps to make a major third, 1, 2, 3, 4. You put your note here and you think, that looks like an A flat to me. So I'm going to draw an A flat. Suddenly now you no longer have a third. You have spelled a fourth. E to A is a fourth because it's 4 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 letters apart. So you have to be very careful when you're spelling intervals. If you're asked for a third, you have to spell a third. So in that case, you won't use A flat. You'll use a G sharp. That's why I said a few minutes ago, it's a really good idea if your test gives you a series of notes and asks you to create intervals of a third, the first thing you should do is just go through and make sure you use the note that's a third above the given note. And then you can go through and add your sharps and flats as you count your half steps. Let's just do a couple more. On my test I was given a B flat and I wrote in a D. I'm not sure if it's major or minor. I need to count. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's already a major third. I can leave it. Let's try one more. D to F. Let's count. Start on D. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. That one's not a major third. It's a minor third. So what do I need to do? I need to raise it by a half step and add my sharp. So I've just created major thirds. Now let's do the same for minor. Now on my test, I've been asked to write minor thirds above certain notes. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go through and I'll just write in the note that's a third above the note that's been given to me. And then I'll use my keyboard to be able to find those notes, E flat to G, but I need a minor third. Let's see how many half steps. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have a minor third. I need to lower this by a half step and put a flat on my G. Alright, I think you get the idea. So that's how to tell the difference between major and minor thirds on the staff and on the keyboard. Just remember the formula. Major is 4 half steps, minor thirds are 3 half steps.